Good morning, everybody. It is Friday once again, and we are here on another edition of Edmentum, Illinois YouTube channel presents Friday Fact, Fiction, and Fuzzy. And this one's actually going to be the last session for the school year, believe it or not. We've made it here to the end of the 2021 school year. And no person better to wrap things up on this fun little segment here than Dr. Courtney Orzel. She is the Associate Director of Professional Development for the Illinois Association of School Administrators. Courtney, how are you?
I'm doing well. People are wishing it was the 21-22 school year, so you're ahead of the game.
I gotta stay present. Gotta stay present, Courtney. I got a little bit ahead of myself there.
I know.
Courtney, thanks for being with us here today. We really appreciate it, and I'm particularly excited to get your thoughts with this little segment here. But again, very specifically, as moving from former superintendent, moving from the superintendency to your current role, I'm really interested to hear your perspectives just on this school year, kind of in this Friday Fact, Fiction, and Fuzzy manner. So how about a fact, Courtney? Can you start us out with a fact, something that you know from talking with hundreds of superintendents around the state?
Yep. So I think the fact is what the fact's always been. Education is by far the most profound and important profession on the planet. I've said that for years. I think this past year, if we haven't felt it before, we certainly feel it now, and we're making the difference in the lives of kids and families every single day, and we don't know it. I know Joe Sanfilippo always says when he does presentations that when he talks to teachers, don't say you're just a teacher. And I think that that has become more profound in this past year, last 14 months, more than ever before. And I think parents are feeling that. I think educators are feeling that. But I think that as we look back this past year, it's just a great reminder. The fact is there's no better and greater profession than education.
Always good to be reminded of that, Courtney. Of course, unfortunate that it has to, be on the heels of a pandemic, but always important to know that. How about a fiction, something that maybe you thought was true, maybe you've learned throughout this year or more recently that is now untrue?
So I think a fiction is this. I think that people thought remote teaching is just like in-person teaching. That is absolute fiction. That's coming from someone that now teaches. I've been teaching remotely and in person and hybrid myself, only teaching adults every single day. So, the idea of being able to walk over and help a student find the page that we're talking about is very different than having 30 kindergartners, 30 adults, 500 teachers on a Zoom call at the same time. Being able to modify our assignments to the tech world, figuring out how do we have a small group? What does a one-to-one look like? Not having access to a related service, a social worker, a psychologist in a moment's notice, a principal, all of those things. And just being able to take lessons and break them down into parts and figuring out who's on the Zoom today, who's not there, what are these gaps? I mean, there's so many differences. So the idea that, well, remote learning is really like in-person learning, total fiction. That's coming from someone that has been teaching remotely every single day for the most.
Yeah, absolutely, Courtney. And like you said, working with adults and working with kids, it has always been different, but I'm sure you're seeing that even now, particularly in a remote environment, it's even that much more different.
Totally. And I just have to say that, so, when we're training even principals and superintendents and central office people too, and I'll say, okay, I want you to go ahead and share your screen. There's a lot of teaching that goes on for those administrators. And they're like, Courtney, I'm going to need a little one-to-one on here. Okay, I got you. So, I think it's been a good learning lesson for a lot of us.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. All right. Last one, Courtney, a fuzzy. And remember, you go, one of these two ways, or you could go both ways if you wanted to. The idea is either something recent or something this year that's made you very happy or proud, made you smile, or it could be something that still remains unclear.
What makes me smile is this. I think that we can now, and we have, but I think that there's a more personalized approach and attention to the work that we do. I think that teaching is special and making sure that it's not about covering content, that it's really about getting to know kids. I think we've always said we build relationships. And I think this past year, we've seen educators across this country do some pretty incredible things and special things, even in a remote environment, to make kids and families feel special. And I believe moving forward, that's our warm and fuzzy, that we're going to continue to do those things and do them at a really, really high level. I know that that's happened for both of my children. And I know that it's happened for kids all across this country and in our state. And our superintendents have done an incredible job leading those efforts.
Yeah, absolutely. And it may be finding new ways, Courtney, to make kids and families feel special. I heard about a bus tour recently, not too far away, making kids feel appreciated at the end of the year. So maybe new and different ways.
That's right. And keeping those ways going, when the pandemic is gone and past. So yeah, absolutely.
She is Dr. Courtney Orzel, as I said. No better person to wrap up this fun little segment for the 2021 school year. If you do not follow Courtney on Twitter, please make sure that you do so. I promise you that you will learn something. Please follow IASA on Twitter as well. And we look forward to more and fun things coming up on the Edmentum, Illinois YouTube channel coming for the 21-22 school year. But until then, I wish you all well. And I wish you all a very safe and healthy summer. As I was talking with Courtney about earlier, please make sure that you take care of yourselves. As always, use this summer to rest and rejuvenate and prepare for the next school year. Thank you, of course, educators across the state and across the country for all that you do every day. As Courtney said, no more important profession out there. So, Courtney, thank you very much for being with us today.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.